Mark right here, and I come back to you again with another calligraphy video, a brush lettering video. And today I will show you how to learn the alphabet in brush lettering and generally how to start writing to understand the idea. So I have my Rhodia notebook, dot book, my Tombow Duo brush pen in the color purple, which is 606, and let's get started. Okay, so first of all, you need to understand the whole idea behind calligraphy, which is that when you go up with your brush pen, you go as thin as possible. And when you go down, you have to go as thick as possible. And these are what are called your upstrokes and your downstrokes. So first of all, you need to kind of feel the tool, which is the brush pen. You need to understand the tool and feel it. So you just have to keep on doing those thin lines, those upstrokes and downstrokes, upstrokes and downstrokes, upstrokes and downstrokes. And don't stress out too much if your upstroke is not too thin or it's kind of shaky. It can happen at the beginning, so it's absolutely okay. And even not at the beginning, there are days when I write very thin lines. My thin lines are thin lines, and there are days when my thin lines are not as thin, but just stay calm. As long as your thick line, as your downstroke is thick when opposed to your upstroke, then you're fine. Because no matter what you do, even if your line is thin like that or thin like that, it's still okay. It's still okay because they're still proportional, so it's fine. So first of all, you need to do those drills. So this, like those lines up and down, and then when you are more comfortable with ups and downs, then you turn to these guys. Then you do your turns at the top. So you go light, and then you put pressure. And then you go light, and then you put pressure on it. Okay, and then you also go the other way around. So this way, and then you can connect those lines. And up and down and up. Okay, so these are the drills that you can do. You can do stuff like that. It's totally fine to also get the ideas. See, it kind of gets a bit shaky sometimes. Maybe it's one of those days when I have a shaky hand, but it's fine. It's okay. It's still gonna look good. Believe me, it's still gonna look good. Then there is the first group of letters that you will be doing. The I, which basically looks, it just looks like this line that we did, this little drill that we did. You just add a dot at the top, and that's it. And that's your I. And then you also go with U, which is, the mix between those two letters. So you basically make two I's. Then there is N, which is kind of make it more rounded. They go like this and then like this. And also try to make those letters a bit onto like onto this side, not straight. Try to make them more like this. So N is basically an upside down U. And then M. And M is an N, but just with more, just one more I. The space between the lines is the same. You just have to make this proportional, and that's what makes calligraphy beautiful. Then you get V, which I do it as kind of, I do it like this, and then I do this kind of line. So it's like, you will see that it's kind of like O, except it is open. O is closed. And then we get the W. Oh, I did it in my style, sorry. But you want to start with letters being the same, or at least close to each other. There are ways that you can do it like this, and there is also like this. You know, there are different ways of doing W, which is fine. There are different styles, you know. So that is the simplest group of letters. Then we get to letters like R, and you can make the more this kind of R, which is, you know, I call it Polish R because we in Poland do this kind of R. But you can also make it a French R, which I really like, and I do it like this. Yeah, I like those loops. I like to do them. So you can make this kind of French R, and I use it mostly also when I write in English, because in English you don't have RZ, and in Polish we have this combination of letters which is RZ, and it looks kind of weird. But there are two different styles of R. There are also S's. You know, I do my S with loops, so like this. So it looks like this. There's also S, you know, that's like that. So you get H, which H is basically like N, except you go up. You have to do this high part of this longer part of the letter. Then is also L. So we make L. Then there's also K. And K is more, you know, there are people that do it like this. I do it like this. There are people who also do it I don't know, kind of something like that. So this more traditional, less artistic kind of K. I love this one. We can try it that way. And then there are those kind of going down letters, which is J. Also, there is Y, which is U with a longer, this downstroke. So that's it. And there is also, don't ever do it. And then there is Z, and there are different ways of doing Z. People, you know, there are people who do it like this. There are people who do it like this. This kind of French Z. I always loved this. I was always doing this when I was doing French, and I switch between these types of Z's, these two types of Z's from time to time. I switch from them. Most regularly, I use this one. And then we get to the kind of hybrid of those letters. So it's F. So you go up, and then you also go a long way down. And then it's one of the more complicated letters. And then finally, I didn't tell you really at the beginning, but we don't make the whole alphabet letter by letter, because the first letters of the alphabet are not easy because they are ovals. They have ovals inside of them, which is A, B, C, D, E, and then there are others. So we start with I because it is just the easiest, to do, because it's the simplest. And then we get to the other letters. And then finally, after we get through all those drills and through those other letters, those easier letters, then we finally get to the ovals, which is basically this shape, which is basically a letter C. So we have letter C. There's also the letter E that is very similar. And then we have O, which, like I said, V is basically like O, except O is closed. People also do O with like this. I kind of don't get it. Okay, but this is my style. P. And I do P like this, again with a loop. People do it closed. You can do it like this. Then there is G. And then we have finally the letters B. And again, I do it that way. People do closed version. And then there is D. Oh, it doesn't really look good, but oh yeah, and I do go down a bit. Sorry, I wanted to make the way that you should be doing it at the beginning, which is that. Yeah, I'm keeping those letters at the same level. You could see that my letters in my bullet journal are more bouncy, of this like bouncy style. But when I first started with brush lettering, I was keeping the letters at the same level. I will show you. Yeah, you can see here are my quotes, and I was keeping the letters on the same line. I was keeping them at the same level. I will talk about different styles of brush lettering in my other video, but just so you know why it looks differently than in my actual bullet journal and all that. But yeah, so there is that. Oh, and I also forgot letter T. So letter T is not as high as um, as H and K and L and B and D. It's shorter. Um, it's higher than than those smaller letters. I do T like this. People do it like this. You know, a thin line. And so it basically looks like this. So this is what you want it to look like when you're writing it. So T is higher than those other letters, but it's smaller than H. So that's about it when it comes to the alphabet in brush lettering. Other videos about brush lettering I will be showing soon, which will be how to connect the letters to turn them into words, and different styles of calligraphy, so on one line calligraphy and bouncy calligraphy and all that. And that's about it. So if you enjoyed the video, click the thumbs up, and if you want to see my other videos, then click that subscribe button. And thanks for watching, and see you later. Bye.